Your media, where you are. There are so many demands on you. Demands at home, in the boardroom, and in the bedroom. You have to be jack of all trades, wearing a different hat when the moment arises. You're on all the time, always on the clock, always catching up. Take care of you. Introducing Your Media, your podcast network that meets you where you are, when you need it, at your time, in your space, when you feel like it. You come first. Your Media, where you are. The show goes on with Noni, brings the business of the arts to center stage. You dance to your own tune. The show goes on with Noni, brings the business of the arts to center stage.
Hello. Gunjani wena sibuyile. It's a brand new week. I come back. I've got my friend with me, Satan. I don't know if we're ever going to stop saying that. I think the listener's going to be like, okay, you guys have killed it so much. But I mean, it's just still so funny. Like, I enjoy it. Hi, everyone. My name is Noni, Spear of the Nation. Yes, I said it. Ngoba ngumkhonto.
Aye.
Ngumkhonto.
Aye.
Ngumkhonto. Come on, listen to that. Yes, during Youth Month, I'm just like, yes, that's me, baby. That is me. Welcome. You are tuned into The Show Goes On with Noni on your media platform. Hashtag where you are. And as per usual, I got my girl with me. That's my best friend.
What's it?
That's my girl. That's my best friend. That's my girl.
Hey girl.
How you doing? You know what, Chomiaka? I also want to come onto the show one day. Ka rap. Mahana ke a thaba, babes. I could say.
Get a rapper girl. One day, guys,
rap.
those who are watching, one day when you watch The Show Goes On with Noni, Bale and Noni will be, I will wear the weave, and then when
Vice versa. Yo. But at least the personalities won't change.
No, never.
Yeah, they'll stay the same. Okay,
of course.
Cool.
Hello. My name is Balisa Robin. Welcome to The Show Goes On with Noni, right here on your media, hashtag where you are. Today.
Yambona lo brother.
Batung.
Uhleli phambi kaPalesa.
Batung.
Niyambona
Lambona na.
Come on.
Kitalente.
No, mara siyabuza ukuthi niyambona. Anithini yebo ngimbona.
Vumani bo.
Siyavuma. Today we have Mlungisi in the Mlu.
Yes.
Mlungisi. Yeah, Mlungisi Mlu. I'm like, guys. Yeah, no, the hormones. Diri what? Diri who? Can we put the bar down there? Yeah, we forgot to put the thing that shows you who we have on the show. But you know, the show goes on, so we just gonna be honest and say we're still flopping.
Yeah,
the show goes on.
It's live.
It's the show goes on.
happens all the time. Sanbonan Nijani. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
No, we're good. We're good to have you in the
We're
studio.
happy.
I'm happy to be here.
Oh,
I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm happy to be here.
Don't be nervous.
Let us, because you've got the eyes, so I don't know what you're seeing.
Waiting, yeah.
Eish.
Be taking pictures of us.
Hey, you're the one.
Happy birthday, Baba Supernatural.
I know, because my Abona,
Exactly. You don't see.
Exactly. And then when you find out like the story behind it, it's like also where did you get there?
Right?
Yeah.
Hi Lou. So please let the people know who you are, where you're from, a bit of your upbringing.
Mhm.
You know, like let us know.
So my name
Because also
is.
he said he's got Soweto watching. I'm freaking out. That's
Run out of the studio.
Soweto is huge, guys. It's the whole of South Africa.
Yeah. So my name is Mlungisi Mlungwane. I'm 26 years old, born and bred Orlando East, Soweto.
Yeah.
I'd like to think I've grown into become a photographer.
Kingsville.
No, Orlando.
Orlando.
Orlando. Orlando East.
Akusomunye wephimvila Ayanda.
Actually, Ayanda. Yeah.
Now we
That was Orlando East. Maki. It's going to be a good show. I got you.
Guys, I'm from the East Rand, so okay.
You're always left out.
I know, don't worry. Tina, see,
We've got you, girl. Please carry on.
Yeah, so I think my background is performing arts.
Yeah.
Ayanda Stebe, who was here a couple of weeks ago,
Yes, that was
was
awesome.
actually my theater teacher and theater director.
Oh, stunning.
Yeah, we met at Pelant's introduced me to Ayanda through
Pelant's Laza.
Pelant's Laza, yes, childhood friend and still my colleague and friend.
It's a small world, eh?
It is a small world.
Oh.
So yeah, and then I got introduced to Ayanda through Pelant's, and then I enrolled at the Youth and Trust Academy. And then for 2 years, I was traveling the state theater, learning performance, how to put up a show, and how to basically become a professional actor. Okay. So that's my background.
So that's where you started?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then I did a couple of commercials.
I didn't like
yes. You wouldn't think, right?
No.
That's stunning.
And you say I'm nervous and and then you're like, no, performance art. Hello.
Hi.
The thing is, I haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
The last time I did it was a commercial. No, it was actually a film directed by director Kit. I really enjoyed that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm now fully into photography. I don't take acting work anymore.
Oh really?
Yeah. No.
Are you letting that sleep for a while?
No. I love it. I love it behind the scenes.
Okay.
I think I was when I was in front of the camera, I was still sort of trying to find my voice.
Yes. Okay.
And it was a discovery process, and then it just happened publicly. So I needed something that would really fulfill me and do it without having to say, "Oh, I've got that audition today," you know.
Yeah.
So camera being behind the scenes was sort of easy for me to gravitate to, and yeah.
Tabang Shabangu says, thank you, Baba.
Hola, T-Man. That's one of my childhood friends.
Hi, Tabang.
Lovely, yeah. So it says out here. So yeah, then after 2 years, I couldn't continue because I was then in grade 10. I needed to sort of focus on my studies fully, and the commuting from Orlando to Pretoria became too much.
Yes. Can you imagine?
Then my mom bought me a second camera. Actually, I got it from my big brother, Monde Nyovani.
Yeah.
I saved up some bit of money and then I hollered him the cash.
Yes.
And when I bought the camera, I didn't think I'm going to be a photographer.
What was the thought
intention
behind
was I'm taking whatever that I learned at the academy and I'm going to do it at home.
Yes.
And then send those audition tapes to all casting agencies. Because I had that theater culture in me from a very young age, you know, of learning monologues, solo, putting up a 45-minute solo show.
Yeah.
And I thought I was going to do that with a video camera. Little did I know.
Did you know you weren't going that direction?
It's so funny how our destinies find us, eh?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So when your parents mom has always been supportive of...
True. Mom is the reason I'm here, man.
Really?
Like,
okay,
I think not even speaking with reference to photography, but just in life generally, she's always been there for me, you know. And I was that child who did everything at school, from choir to debates, and she had my back, you know. Like she never, because when you're doing something, then there's always people who say, but you're doing everything, you know. But she was like, you're not gonna listen to any of these people. They don't know you.
Mom, we love you.
Yeah, so Bridget Mlungwane. Such a darling.
Girl, the girl, we love you.
Yes.
So yeah, I got that full support from her, and then the camera came through.
Yeah.
It stayed in the house for a couple
when
of
you
weeks.
talk about the camera,
Look, it's I won't lie to you. It's the relationship I have with the camera now is very sensitive. Like it's sort of changed my life completely,
Yeah,
you know, and it
okay.
hasn't. I don't think I'm at I'm at the point where I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is it. I've made mom proud.
Yeah.
I'm still on that journey.
Yes.
But it has sort of made me something in society, I think.
Yeah, and
And
do
I
you
don't
think
take it for granted.
mom's support, being so supportive, and had she not, would there be a difference? Do you think?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Only Lambert shy and fit. I used to get beaten a lot when I was a child, you know. And
Yes, Mama Bridge.
and
I went home again.
and not that we're promoting violence and
Yeah.
anything,
But
but
it's discipline.
being raised by a single mother can be.
Of course.
She had to play both those roles,
Yeah.
and I would see it in her eyes whenever she would get called that I'm detained at school. I would just see the disappointment. Yeah, yeah, no, because I was still finding myself.
Yeah.
So we no kanganyana kufuna attention from the ladies, do something cool that will get you in trouble. So I would see the disappointment in her face whenever I'm doing something wrong. And only then I understood it. You know what? I think my responsibility is quite significant here, which is just to make this lady proud, because she's literally put her life on hold for me and my little brother. So yeah.
Which high school did you go to?
I went to Centurion College, and then primary I started at Tembalihle, Soweto, and then in grade 4 I moved to Lenasia at Impala Crescent Primary School.
So how did going to those schools influence you as a person in the as like being a creative and being courageous to really do what you're doing? Because I think it starts from the bottom.
Sure. Look, being around, like having parents as my
creative
neighbor was sort of like also a blessing, because he was very creative from like parents has always been doing TV. You know, that's what I've always known him to do. So that sort of motivated almost everyone in the same block. All of us were sort of artistic people, would do all these nice things at school. And
you also those kids who created stuff on the street, like when you were together.
Would come up with songs, would come up with stage wrestling scenes on Sundays.
It was not from
that foundation.
Putting together something, you know. And then, so the schools that I attended were, so Tembalihle was in Soweto, Lenasia was outskirts of Soweto, which is more of an Indian side of life in the south. So it was a crazy sort of, I had to juggle from getting used to Soweto systems to how things are done in Lens, and then I had to repeat a grade because my English and Afrikaans wasn't so good. But that was one of the hardest things I had to do, because then from being a bright child in Soweto, now in Lens, I have to repeat a grade. And I had to sort of prove myself to everyone that, you know what, just because I did this again doesn't mean I was just not used to the system.
I just needed to learn new dynamics.
So my mom had to explain that to me, and I literally the entire December was weeping, didn't want to go back, because I thought, you know what, I was never a failure. So how do we do this, you know? But then I think from then my character was very sharpened. I learned how to sort of protect myself and make a statement without being too loud, by just doing good and making sure that my stuff is taken care of. So I think, that's where the character was sort of built.
There's so much depth in photographers, eh?
There is
so much depth.
There's like this childhood, you know, like we had Justice who spoke about being autistic. I mean,
dyslexic.
Not autistic. Sorry, Justice.
Dyslexic.
I'm the dyslexic one now. Autistic mofo up in here. Oh, Lord. But I mean, being a creative, we go through those things, because I'll tell you now, I also repeated a grade from my mathematics.
Yeah.
It was bad, but not to a point where they called my parents in to say she can still carry on, but holding her back would benefit her.
Sure, for sure.
To better her, you know, her maths. Because I mean, I struggled in the academic field. Like I was there for the creative.
Yeah.
I did all the variety concerts you can imagine, where it looked like I was the one who was organizing them. I was singing people's songs, but it looked like I'm the one who wrote them. I remember the Pussycat Dolls came out with "Nobody Gonna Love Me Better," and people were like, "Oh my God, your song is amazing!" And I'm like, "No, just it just came out with that from the Pussycat Dolls. We got somebody saying hello.
Jaden Smith, say
Yeah,
hello, Mlu. JJ here. Great live show. I love it.
Thank you so much, Jaden. Thank you so
That's
much.
because Mlu's making it happen.
Mlu is amazing.
He's giving us all the juice, all the
Yeah.
amazing stuff. So Mlu, your photography.
Yes.
So you said you put your actor side
Yeah.
to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm so sad.
Patu.
I'm so sad. I'm so sad because I'm like, no, but I want to see you.
I've worked the past 3 years, 3 years with Actor Spaces.
Yeah.
I got to witness some magic, and I was like, okay, I'm glad. There's incredible actors out there.
Yeah.
You know, there's
No, but I mean,
The magic in you? What
In
about
you?
the magic in you?
yeah.
I think
In that
comparing
aspect.
yourself to people.
no.
going on
No. I think I'm more happy with helping someone put up a great performance.
Okay.
Capturing that person in the best light possible.
listen to you.
I think that
Okay.
that
Oh,
yeah,
you
yeah.
So
made
you
up
want
your
to
mind.
contribute to the magic.
to the magic.
You
yeah.
made up your mind. You
Yeah,
were like,
no.
people
Totally.
can try and convince me to go back on that stage so they can see me, but
Look.
I'm going to use the words to be like,
I still have to make it official to my agent, which is Legend.
Today?
Yeah. Not today. I'm just gonna buy flowers and
oh
chocolates.
no, they know now. If they are watching,
Oops, I'm in trouble. So I'm just make it official to them. Flowers and some chocolate,
Yeah.
and just say, guys, maybe start booking me for your headshots so that I can shoot the entire.
Yes, because you've got such a beautiful
amazing.
eye.
Yeah.
You
thank
know, so did you went to school for that?
No,
For photography?
That's
Not
all.
at all.
no.
So how is it that you knew what you were doing? Did you need to be validated by somebody who knew about photography, or was your work already out there and people going, Mlu, do you know what you have? Do you know what you can do?
I think
Also, 26. You're still young. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, guy, like
So when did
no
it
so
start?
cool guy. Uzoya.
Pela ola.
yeah.
You are above head. Now where you gonna? I'm watching.
Starships.
Guys, I'm
They meant to fly.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So with the photography, I was so I think my first love out of everything is capturing the everyday life
Okay.
of people.
Oh, that's why you call yourself Stratmate.
Stratmate, yeah.
I love it.
But that name actually, how that came out was that my mom used to always complain that we don't spend enough time together.
Yeah.
So hey, when I was Stratmate, you know, but I was like, yeah, no, I'm going to work. My first love is documentary, just documenting everyday people's stories and
Yeah.
everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
But try do it with dignity, you know, with
Okay.
some sense of celebrating our strengths
Okay.
in the midst of whatever
It's
plight
going on,
that
yes.
we all going through as the human race. But then so that I couldn't really push out on social media and let it be the work that introduces me to the
Yeah.
world, because some of these stories are really hard, and
Yes.
I hate photographing people without sort of solutions for them,
Okay.
or without a bit of help.
Or like putting them out there
Putting
without
them-
the help.
Without the help, you know, I wouldn't necessarily take that kind of work and say this is me.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather.
Do you feel like you're exploiting those people by taking in their? I mean, like, you know, they say what something is the window to the soul.
Yeah.
Eyes are the
The
window to the
eyes.
soul.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
you're practically going out there, being a stratmate, taking images of people's difficult situations.
Sure.
You know, to put it out there and be like, you're not alone, even if you don't look this way, but you might feel this way. So you don't want to. So you're saying that you would rather be able to give back to that person instead
Yeah.
of just using the images for your own benefit.
Yeah, for sure. I'd rather shoot it in a sense that it's gonna benefit us.
Or
Or you know, I think what
And dignify the person.
definitely, because if there's one thing I know about myself is that I'd hate it if someone was to take a picture of me at my lowest point. You know, so my stance on my photography rather, is if that person happens to stumble up on that picture, I want them to smile. You know, I want them to see that element that was lost in them for some time. But yeah, so like I said, I'd prefer being on set, shooting commercials, shooting commissioned work. Hopefully that work will sort of resurface in the future for important conversations, because that's what we do as photographers. We document history as it
Hold
evolves.
that thought.
Sure.
That's what you do as photographers. You document. Hold that thought. We are going to an ad break now.
Cool.
Sizofunda, guys. English is upon us, and Palisa is just
Your media, where you are. You dance to your own tune. The show goes on with Noni, brings the business of the arts to center stage.
We all know summer bodies are built in winter, but that can be easier said than done. So why not join fitness expert Mo on the Health Fix with Mo for an inspirational weekly fitness podcast? Show for fitness novice. Mo chats to the best in local health and fitness experts in an effort to help you achieve your aesthetics, fitness, and health goals. Subscribe on YouTube, listen on any good podcast platform, or find it on www.yourmedia.co.za. Your Media, hashtag where you are.
The show goes on with Noni, brings the business of the arts to center stage. Your media.
Okay, and we are back.
Hey, English is a problem in here, eh?
Guys, like reading out loud. That's why I say, Yamanama academics. Ha, baba. Ha.
Rough.
Rough. Like I still have that. When I was a child, I used to hate reading out loud. You know, like Mlu, read, and you're like, I just didn't like it.
Go get toilet.
Yeah, exactly. But no, you're gonna read. Mlu, you were talking about photographers documenting
Yes.
life. Please
Sure.
carry on.
So like I said, I mean, for me it's important that I create works that will sort of contain our dignity, and show us in the best light possible ever. I mean, if you look at history and what other photographers have done in the past, if you look at Msebenzi wabo Bab Santum Fugeng, Bab Simzima, who took the infamous image of Mbuyisa carrying the late Hector Peterson, you get to see the importance of how that image put the conversations of apartheid and into the forefront, way to a point where you can't avoid it anymore. You know, it was captured so beautifully. One image captured the revolution. You can tell so many stories with just one image. So many stories of what used to happen to us in one image. So I think that's sort of the goal that I would like to sort of achieve with my work. You know,
So
to
magical.
tell a story with an image. An important story, you know, because I think sometimes we have stories, every story is important to be shared. Sometimes we share stories just out of a place of expressing yourself.
Yes.
And some stories are about literally the betterment of others.
Yeah.
And which is what I'd love to achieve with my work. Yeah.
The maturity at the age of 26,
But,
I must just say, is... I don't know, guys. You know, when you look at people, you don't really know what they are thinking and how their thought processes go, you know, especially with people that are so prominent and known for their work. You know, you kind of, you look at their work and you admire it, but you know, when you sit down with you like this, because I don't think people get to sit down with you and talk like this. We talk shallow.
Yes.
And the way you're speaking about your work and the way you're explaining to us, like, you kind of get a sense and a story of your influences and your background and things that motivate you.
Sure.
It's just, that's why I'm like 26 and kodwa masibona esitradeni sibona umgroove nje sibona
Yeah.
umlu.
Yeah, no.
But we don't know behind that there's
But
so much
behind the
depth.
scenes of umlu, there's
Layers, yeah.
layers and layers and layers. So you being a photographer, nah, and seeing the world with your beautiful eye, because your work is so amazing.
Sure, it's magical.
It's magical.
Thank you.
Is So you've touched up on the iconic image for Youth Month, where Hector Peterson is carried, and just in that one picture, you're like, that is an inspiration in itself.
Sure.
Are you is your whole photography being inspired from that
particular image?
Yeah, that particular, or like just like what happened is any of that the reason why you also want to be able to tell stories?
I think, if anything,
where does
my
your
inspiration
come from? Yeah,
I think if anything, that image has sort of gave me a wake up call.
Okay.
In a sense of how important photography is, and how it can easily go wrong. It can easily work against the progress that we're trying to sort of get out there as human beings.
Yes.
So my inspiration really comes from the beauty of everyday life, and just because I'm very grateful for a lot of things, even the smallest of things.
Yeah.
So when I take pictures, it for me, it's an exercise of gratitude. I look at the people that I've shot in my resume. The late Mom Meritwala.
Yes.
For me, that wasn't a shoot. It was me giving her those flowers while she was still alive, because that's we used to consume,
and those are beautiful
the content
images.
growing up. So now you have to shoot this person that you've always looked,
an icon.
Woman.
So I think that was the inspiration of sort of, okay, maybe let me be that guy who just keeps going around dropping flowers at people's doorsteps, just to say we see you.
Yes.
Dr.
I
John
love
Kani.
that concept. I really, really love that concept, because you are making us see them in a whole different light, and you are giving thanks to them, which is something that's so great. Like, we normally give flowers to the dead.
Yeah.
It's time to give flowers to the living,
For sure, and buy art from living artists. For me, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think we take any of the stuff that happens in this world with us down there. We don't know. Nobody knows. But we know that if you buy my print now, if you buy a Stratmate print now, you're gonna secure a spot in my heart, and my work will be on your walls. So that's like a long-term relationship. You know, I don't need that when I'm 6 feet. I wanna rest when I'm there. I'm doing the Lord's work now.
No, I think your work I think the work between you and Active Spaces is so magical because of where you guys stand in your own as different entities, as because how you speaking on, I want to give them flowers while they're still alive, and I understand he wants to give the actors a voice so that we can see who the actors are instead of calling them by their character names. So do you think collaboration in our industry, in your industry, is important? Because as Umlu, the way ucabanga ngakhona, and you meet someone who thinks not like you, differently, but manhlangana kuyenza magic. Do you think collaboration in our industry, in the entertainment industry, is important in that aspect?
I think trying to do everything on your own is the death of any great idea. I've never, for the past 4 years, I've tried to get Mlu Art to be a registered agency that serves multi-choice actor spaces and a couple of clients with photographic works for billboards, newsletter, or just business material. for marketing campaigns. So, and having to do it on my own, I learned that I'm end up gonna hating this.
Yes, okay.
I can't be arguing with Ayanda about rates. Ayanda and I should be arguing about composition, color,
yes,
like
Angle.
the creative
Yes.
conflict,
Yeah.
and then let someone handle the business aspect. Because sometimes, if I argue with you about the finances, it sort of clouds up our creative juices when we're together.
Okay.
So only now I've realized that I need to sort of have a strong team behind me, have someone who's taking bookings on my behalf,
Yes.
Have someone who's checking up on late payments on my behalf, so that then I just keep shooting,
Yes.
which is what I love.
Yeah.
So create collaborations are actor spaces collaboration, Mondays I came through, Ayanda came through, I came through with the photography, and it all sort of the space just elevated everyone into their own sort of position, Ayanda is casting director. He's all the stuff that he used to do, he still does them, but with the help of actor spaces, it has sort of become easier for everyone. Now I'm able to knock on doors and say, hey man, this is what I've done, and it gets easier.
You've got a platform.
So,
your work is out there.
Yeah, so it's just collaborations. They're very important.
Yeah. So being a
Hold that thought.
hold that thought. We are going
To an ad break.
Your media, where you are. On with Noni brings the business of the arts to center stage.
Sit down, pour a glass, and take a journey through the fascinating lives of some of South Africa's most influential names as they transcribe the parts of their stories you won't read about in papers. Through casual and candid interviews, Tiamo and her guests hope to make their life story and experiences a practical blueprint you can apply in your own life. The Transcript with Tiamo. Subscribe on YouTube, listen on any good podcast platform, or find it on www.yourmedia.co.za. Your media hashtag where you are.
The show goes on with Noni brings the business of the arts to center stage. Your media, where you are.
Oh man, it's always a good time in studio. Always a good time. Macmilla's funde, guys. Yo. Oh my God. Okay, over to me right now, right?
Over to you.
What was I going to say to you, Mlu? I was going to ask you, what are the challenges of photography in this country, do you think? Are there any in terms of, for you right now, you've got great collaboration, but if you put yourself in the shoes of someone who probably doesn't,
sure,
what could it basically be? Would it be ego? Would it be that you think or you say you're dropping flowers everywhere you go, right?
Sure.
Sometimes you see somebody going, "Oh, I'm loose taking photos of celebs. I can also do it."
Yeah. Yeah.
So that kind of challenge. Like the difficulties of that being that ego.
I think it's photography. At this point, it's sort of the heart and soul of marketing and brands and all of that. So it's sort of the challenge now. It looks easy, which is great.
Yes.
I think any art related sort of faculty should be encouraged for everyone, because some people don't do this for the money. I think we need to get that clear. Like even myself, I haven't really made much money from photography, but there's a monetary opportunity to it. So then the challenge becomes that it seems it does seem easier to do, and then you have a lot of people reaching out to you, which we do now. We have a social program with my friend Andy Lepala, who's a great photographer. it's called Yasimzin. So what that basically means, I'm referring to anyone from the streets as umuntu wakithi, right? So that's like an exchange of skills and sharing knowledge about photography, pricing, which campaigns to avoid, who's paying late, who's paying on time, type of thing. Because I think we need that, so that we're all in tune, so that the photography space is one thing, not have one person who's charging 15 grand for the hour and then the next one is charging 500. So I think the challenge is patience. Sometimes you have someone on your DM asking for an opportunity for us to get this out there, and then we do it, and it doesn't become a big or a buzzing project, and then you easily get discouraged. So I think that's the challenge right now with photography, because it looks easy, it looks glamorous, it looks like there's money, and I'm glad that's happening, so that a lot of parents can buy into the idea of photography as a career.
What happens for those people who do take the work for less? And people like yourself who are established and still to do greater things are then also looked at as though, because that one can take for less, you're going to take for less too. Like, not seeing your worth when it comes to paying you your worth.
I think it's hard if your business is sort of around the event space, because I think that's where you'll find a lot of people and it's very competitive, right? And that becomes a challenge for everyone, because if the next person charges 250, you charging X amounts, you are less likely going to have to drop your price so that you accommodate whoever client that you have to secure. But it's a challenge, because then by the time you take on that work, you're not even feeling the way you should, because so much has been compromised. But I believe people know what their money is worth, and they choose whoever to do their service, to render that service according to their standards and what they feel is quality and creativity, because those are the two most important ingredients in what we do. Yeah.
You know what I love about you? You always bring who you are. Like Yasimzin.
Sure. Yeah. No.
You understand? It's not made.
Yeah.
You are always authentically yourself. We are so it's known. Like a lot of people must really look you're like, I want to get out of this place.
Sure.
You always bring it with you.
Bring it back, yeah.
Always, everywhere you go carrying it. You're carrying you as a brand. You're carrying your love for photography. You're carrying whatever it is that you want to say with your photography, and you carry who you are. What made you become like that, or how did you see that it also relates at this thing?
I think when you're from a place like Soweto that's so diverse and it's just a burst of fruit of diversity and culture, it's embedded in you. You we forced it, like Yimlo. So I come with all the layers and whatever that I've went through, because I'm cooling like everyone else. So that's all, and the beauty of Stratmate and what I'm trying to unravel with this particular series of photographs is showing the beauty about being streetwise, learning the aspect of collaboration, learning how to share. We share gear, Tina, sibolekana ama-lens, sibolekana ama-lights, mangekho busy ngiyahamba ngiyoncedisa ubani makashootha this particular subject, so that's the street culture of Pilisana, co-living, coexisting. So I've literally, I said that in school with my cousins and everyone. So sharing is very close to home. So it's an easy thing for us.
Loved, hey? Look, Mapula is saying, I still say when I grow up, I want to be like Mlu.
Thank you so much, Babs. She's a very influential friend of mine.
Stunning. I love the support that you're getting. This is amazing.
You see it like this, because funerals, ugogo athi sithi kune-COVID athi lo muntu ngikhulene yazi ngikhulisa abantwana bakhe because you want to give back
Sure.
to that person even atlhokofetse. So ukhulela egas, like being black is such a blessing.
Sure.
It is.
It's a blessing in an aspect where they teach us that umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu.
And community.
Yes, that sense of community, and we see it with you.
It says a lot about you.
It says a lot
really,
about
really
you.
says a lot about you. You've got another. Umlu is pop.
The eagle eye.
I like that.
I love it.
That's Sivuyile
Talking
Matsiliza.
about the eagle eye. When you were busy during lockdown.
Yeah.
Hey, you were busy during lockdown. I'm sure some other people were like,
How do you? Yeah.
like people packed up their cameras and put them away.
Yeah.
When you said, never, bruh.
No
I
ways.
let my actor sleep. I'm not letting my lens and my camera. So tell us about that. What inspired you to go out there? Because I think like a lot of people were so fearful to leave their houses.
Sure.
It would seem like if I breathe that air outside of my yard,
I'm gonna die.
you know?
Yeah.
What inspired you to go out there during COVID and become the eagle eye?
The eagle eye.
Come on. Come on,
Thank you,
Sivu.
So that's Sivuyile Matsiliza. He goes by the name of Virtue on the pic on Instagram.
Yeah.
I call him my boss because he
but tall.
Yeah, he owns a company called Pixel Collective, which is a photographic agency, very big, and they give me work frequently.
Nice.
And so during the lockdown, because we shoot,
like how you
because
know
we
your
shot.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
but you
no,
just say names.
Hey,
me, I'm grateful.
love it.
You guys give it too much credit, but anyway.
No, we must. We
You
must.
said flowers to the living.
Sure.
These are our flowers to you.
Bless up. I
There we
receive.
go.
So Sivuyile, lockdown. When the president announced, I think we were both on set that day.
Yo.
And then when I got home, we started texting. I was like, okay, bro, our movement is gonna be limited because Pixel they get work in Rustenburg, they get work in Cape Town, and so I knew Gucci when I'm getting a call from Pixel, we're about to get some work done. So all of that came to sort of a standstill.
Yeah.
And Sivuyile and I spoke, was like, you know what, in the midst of the pandemic, there's so much that we just collectively want to achieve. How do we then do this? How do we stay fit? You know, because even soccer players were training from home during the harsh lockdowns. So then we, through Pixel Collective, we got a work permit with also my boss, who's the co-founder of Pixel Collective, Kelly Liu. She got us work permits. And then we got so we got work permits. So we were what do they call essential? Yeah, we were essential workers for some time.
Photographers are essential workers.
So then Sivuyile and I came up with this heavy sort of piece of work that we created, where we would work alongside the SANDF, which is the army, and the member of the SAPS. So what they do, we would patrol with them as they enforce lockdown regulations in the Joburg city, and we would capture that. Some days would be
this
rough.
Was like your journalism,
like crazy photojournalism at its
best.
Yeah, and you would see very like life-changing moments while you're there, you know, and it's very sensitive, man. It's absolutely sensitive. So we captured sort of the side of the state, them trying to enforce the lockdown regulations, and we also tried to celebrate them for
the work
work they're doing, really, you know. So yeah, that's how the eagle eye started.
When I saw those photos, my heart, every time I would be on Instagram and I would be like, oh my God, what's going on?
Look, so right now the plan is to get the SANDF, myself, Sivuyile, and Kelly to put together a document that will sort of showcase all these heroes, unsung heroes.
All that work is going to come
archived,
to life.
it's documented. We just need to put up a show and get someone to really help us curate it, and so that we get the narrative right. Because also the media gave the state, the members of the authorities, a backlash during the lockdown, because we would only see video clips of people being beaten up in Alex, but you wouldn't see an officer praying. And we've got images of officers praying for the whole country in the morning. You know, that's so amazing. That work needs to see light of day, hopefully.
It does. It needs to see the sunshine. Yeah. We've got Jaden 11 Smith. Hey, Auntie. Hey, boy. What began as a hobby turned into a career now. And wow, so well spoken. Excellent, my boy. Auntie Nettie.
Auntie Nettie. Oh, thank you so much, Auntie Nettie. Thank you so much. I'm loved, yo. Wow, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So love, man. So love.
So I'm actually glad to hear that. I'm actually glad that there's people who got permits, or people brave enough to maybe even sneak without a work permit.
Without a work permit.
Yeah, to go and capture what it looked like during lockdown. And now you're telling us that work might come to light instead of it sitting in the archives, and you guys are actually going to do something about it. Because the media does depict a lot of negativity.
A lot
of violence, a lot of it's almost as if that's the only
newsworthy.
Newsworthy, but also emotional blackmail that works for humans. And I don't understand. I don't think people understand that that's so damaging to the mind itself. Like you saying you've got images of officers on their knees and praying for a better tomorrow, or praying that
before the shift starts, they're just praying for the country,
praying for their lives,
as well, for sure,
their families, because what they're doing is
there's no guarantees.
And police are depicted and shown in the media in the light as if they are these horrible human beings.
Our first week with Sivu was rough.
Yeah.
I got my camera confiscated. It was thrown into the van.
Thrown into the van.
Yeah, it was
Do
thrown
they know
into
what a
the
camera
van.
is? It's like dropping a mic.
Yeah, no, and I had that 70 to 200.
Was it okay? Did it survive?
Yeah. It took a bit of knock, but it was fine.
Guys, we talk about these things like it's babies because it's expensive.
They're quite pricey.
You know,
they're quite pricey
and sentimental. They bring out magic.
Yes,
they're eyes. You know, so it's not. It's. Look, if I hope that work sees light of day, because we will literally risk our lives there. I live with a family of 11, and I'd go out every day in the streets of Hillbrow, Germiston, with Sivuile, and I had chances of catching the virus and bringing it home. But I knew my responsibility was to capture and be the eyes.
Family
at the time.
of 11. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
You just said
beautiful family, most supportive family. I promise you.
You said family of 11 and then moved on.
Yeah, hello.
Whoa, booyah. Nobody.
Mom, my little brother, my big sister, cousin Upinki, and then Tsepiso, Tato, Uncle Opa, Uncle Best, and Snowy, Roxy, and Zulu. So those are three. Yeah, those are fur babies. We call them fur babies. They're part of the family as well.
All under one roof.
All under one roof.
And how is that?
It's beautiful. When I'm bathing, preparing for a shoot, when my car is still idling, when I'm warming it up, my uncle packs my equipment in my car.
Guys,
when I'm on my way, I call when I'm a couple of seconds away and say, guys, please, because sometimes we knock off late. Our call times, they're very crazy, especially when we're shooting commercials.
Of course.
You leave home at 3 a.m., you come back at 12 a.m.
Yeah.
So having a supportive structure really plays
they wake up midnight, about 2 o'clock.
They accommodate actors. We had the legendary James Ngobo. I was shooting his portraits. I was shooting his portraits for Actor Spaces, and we had a little bit delays, like every other shoot. It had challenges.
Yeah.
And my uncles were there to tell stories, and they didn't even know who the legendary James was.
Yes.
They just shared all these stories, and then when I got home, it was like, James has been here forever, So it's like a very warm sort of space that cultivates stories within me. Because when my uncles, what I know, my mom used to work at Galaka Estate as a bartender, right? And she would knock off late around 12. So apparently, as a kid, I wouldn't be able to sleep until she's back home. So my uncles would sit with me and would watch a lot of TV. So that's how stories were sort of always close to my heart, because as I was waiting for my mom, I'd consume stories with my uncles.
No wonder you're so much about community, because you've got this, this support system at home.
It's not perfect. Everyone's got their own shortfalls.
Family.
Sometimes I'm cleany. I get in trouble because I think,
because they get tired. Like, when I in 6 months. You think you're doing the best, and you know as much as greatness as you're doing.
We spoke about something. I think behind the scenes. You were watching behind the scenes of a show, and you said your uncle was part of the cast or was part of the behind the scenes. It's again, Mutse question. I'll look for that.
I actually want to ask you to say, how do you see this as how to be a vessel for change through the lens? Like, what does that mean to you?
I think, it's quite a good question. It is a good question, and I'd like my answer not to sort of hold me into the corner. I think.
But no, this is your truth. It's
for sure.
It's not from someone else. It's not a quote. It's what Mlu thinks that means for you.
I think being a vessel of change is picking up the camera for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And understanding your responsibility in society as a storyteller. Like for me, like I said at the beginning of the interview, so much has changed at home. Just through photography, so much has changed. Like even the quality of life itself, it has come for the better, and that's how I see it as a great escape for me. Like it's this,
because you're living your own truth through your lens, right?
Sure.
That is amazing. Bali, did you find it?
Yes, we were talking about a movie set, and you were like the set was made by a man's hand, Uncle D. That was just
So this was Instagram.
Yes.
What show was this?
You were watching a film,
Uncle D,
and then I commented, and you're like, the set was made by a man, by a hands of a man.
Please remind me what.
I can't remember the film, but
this?
Guys,
did I share it on my stories?
Yeah.
So I collect movies as well. So I watch movies day in day out for inspiration and just for that escapism as well. And I've been blessed to sort of move within wild actor spaces. I got introduced to Tebogo Malope, who's a commercials director and a filmmaker, great filmmaker. He's given me like multiple opportunities for me to create beautiful work, with him around. So meeting Tebza introduced me to everyone in the industry that I know. So I think Uncle
he's
D
doing well, hey?
Yeah, Tebza is. I don't think he's been in South Africa. I don't think he's been in South Africa for the year, but I think he was around now for Father's Day. But he's an inspiration to all, man.
So you don't know.
I've lost my train of
Yeah.
But it was I think I follow a lot of photography people who are magical.
Sure.
And then in one of your stories you were watching a film, and you were like, you knew what was going on in that film, who built the set, and we were talking about who built Uncle D, and he built it by his own hands. That I don't know. I think
you must show me the conversation. Maybe I'll be able to
the Book of Eli or something like that. I can't remember. But what I wanted to ask you was that what is it in your as a photographer your interest in filmmaking? Because most photographers, they like, okay, I'm just gonna take photos, and then I can get in more filmmaking. So, what is your interest in filmmaking? Because you're an actor, you also working a photographer. Yeah. Film, like,
I think.
Tell us about that.
I think the keen interest in film was sparked by my experience as an actor. Is that knowing how technical film is in comparison to theater, because I think I was blessed enough to have the best of both.
Yes, of course.
Which is theater on its own. It's there's no stop record, and so with film, what I try and really what draws me to film is the beauty of all these magical minds coming together. Because what people don't know is that what we watch on TV, it's not done by one person.
Yes.
You know, there's a Christopher Nolan. They have big teams around them, you know, and my interest is documenting the magic behind the prep. So, you know, when the lighting guy is setting up the light at 4:30 while everyone is still sleeping, I'm there to capture that magic, you know. And so I think the importance of behind the scenes, it makes you appreciate the final product even better. You know, it makes, I think also there's a lot of South African television and film experts who were never shown the appreciation that they needed to get with the works that they were doing, you know, because I believe this is God's work. So yeah, it's a very, it's, I don't know how to put it, but yeah, it's a very sacred space for me. So shooting filmmakers in their own elements is magical for me.
Yeah, it looks like you really love being behind the scenes, and to you, it doesn't matter whether you get the glory or not.
Yeah.
You do it because of passion. You know?
Sure.
So if there's someone out there who knows that they've got the ability to be a photographer, but at the same time they're like, nah, but I want to be in front because being at the back and is not a thing.
Sure.
How could you jar their mind to just be like, no, Zam, I'm fine, I go behind the scenes? Or, you know, what would you say to women as well who, like, let's say for us, we're used to being on stage.
Yeah.
But I think it's so daunting to want to be behind the scenes because it looks like it's a lot of work.
It is.
Because to read a script and then to sit there and go, how did you get here? Like, now I must bring this to life. But now you want me to sit backstage and do what you... For me, it's not about the glory, but about... how did you get here? You know,
the magic, the process.
That's the process before the front of people
for sure.
get to put it out there. How can you inspire someone to be like, listen, if you've ever had an interest to be the photographer, to be behind the scenes, to be the director, to be, you know, the producer, go ahead, do it. You know, it's not always about the glory or, you know, being seen, but there's also beauty in creating work and you being unseen. For that beautiful.
Yeah. It's like what he said, you know, he just said that it's God's work. We don't see what God is doing. We see it already done.
Unfolding.
Unfolding. Like with her, she's pregnant. She's having a beaky. We don't see what's happening inside. But as soon as when the baby comes, it's like, I'm here.
Yes, exactly. So I'm the only one that's going to know what's happening behind the scenes.
And so what you're saying is so important. So
how can you inspire someone to just... you know,
I think the biggest component to staying inspired in everything that you do is patience, and never, like, don't settle. You know, like, it's settling, thinking you found your niche or you found what you're good at, and staying in that won't make you great. You know, like I believe that my portfolio is not diverse enough. I believe I still want to go to deep down Africa and document and tell people stories as best as I can.
I can see you
know.
I
really want that
to it.
And just shine the light on people the best way I can. However, I think what would really encourage a conducive career and a sustainable one is letting the work do the talking.
Yes.
You know, I can't always be there to defend my work. I won't be always there to say, "Hey, Palisa, you're wrong." That's not what that image is.
Yes.
You know, so if every image I can try and put out there has all my sort of signature on it, then I think it will make it easier for my work to be communicated at a global scale, because hopefully that's the goal. That's where I want to get to, you know? So, yeah, letting the work do the talking. And look, people always want to see the magician. They'll see it. They'll see the magician with the right time, you know? So right now, just feed the people with your work and let people just get consumed in it, I think.
And would you say that... going to an institute and studying is vital, Or do you think if you have the talent, you just have to have the right mentality, know know the work that you are doing and know why you are doing the work is important? Because, there's that thing, paper, it takes you a long way.
Sure.
The paper takes you a long way. That degree, that diploma, it opens up the doors. Do you believe that is what it is? I'm not trying to, listener out there, I'm not trying to say education is not important. But I'm just trying to say, with your experience, because I'm one who doesn't have a paper for musical theatre.
Sure.
So I think my work ethic and me being authentic to myself and knowing why I'm doing what I'm doing, I've been able to be employed since I've started. I mean, there was a bad year where I had nothing because I stayed. I got stuck in one place.
Sure.
And I didn't improve.
Sure.
And it hit me one day where I was like, but you haven't improved yourself, so you need to, so
upskill yourself.
Yes, upskill.
Yeah.
So
I think
that's a fabulous question.
Sure, yeah, and it's literally, I think
it's a touch and go
yeah,
one, hey?
But it's that question is sort of, I think it would be literally directed at my 4 years of holding a camera and being in the film space. So the advantage of school is that you can manipulate systems.
Yes.
You are there for so long, so you have to know what you're studying there. And the advantage of not going to school is that you're ready to sleep at 2 a.m. while everyone else is sleeping at 10.
Yes.
Because now I spoke to Muteo. So Muteo is a DOP who's from AFTA.
Yeah.
And whenever I see him on set, I grab as much information as I can from him.
Yes.
Lunch breaks, especially now that it's better with COVID, people are encouraged to eat like sort of individually or in small groups.
Yes.
So it makes it easier for me to turn a work day into a learning environment.
Nice.
Come on.
So I think it goes, if you have the educational background to what you're doing, it gives you a better advantage.
Yes.
But there's still amazing people out there who are like me, who just
yes, boy.
And they just
we like that.
Just kidding.
No, you're not. Come on. You're not kidding.
Come on.
But I think I've of late, especially with COVID, because I haven't been on the road and traveling as much as I would initially. The question of school came through, and it's very important for me to touch on that and at least get just a foundation aspect of this, just to show my respect to the craft, and learn what I don't know, basically, because I don't think I know everything.
Because I think when you do go to school, there is because I look at myself and I look at Alyssa. There are two sets she has that I don't have, because she went in and she put in that work whilst I was learning life. I was in it.
Yeah, you're in real time. Yeah.
Yes, I was like boom, 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 and she was still in varsity doing the things. And I look at how what I have that she doesn't have, where I'm like, I feel like institutes also can sometimes take away from the talent.
Yeah,
because they steer you in a way, But there's two sets that she has where I'm like, that could have been. And if I had that, if I can have that, but that's what you're doing, is when you grab someone like that and you sit down with them,
put them close,
and you put them close and you learn.
That's where collaboration
comes in, because you've got this raw talent that hasn't been tampered with.
Sure,
but
untouched.
As well, you're getting the academic on that
side.
Like, kudos to you. Like,
and I think it's just generally easier to listen to someone that you love or someone that you have a connection with.
Admire as well.
Admire. Like I take everything when I'm on set and I meet Angus Gibson, the creator of Yizo Yizo. It's like you would swear I have a notepad, because I remember everything that he says about storytelling and how to tell stories as authentic as you can, even when you're not part of that actual plot or the storyline that's being discussed, but how to approach story with authentic motives. And so I think also, like you said, we possess different skill sets with people who are from an institution, and I think it's that's where collaboration needs to kick, because not all of us will afford after. I couldn't afford to go to after, but I've got friends who went there, so why not use them? Why not let them be my teacher? And look, I think the day I get my SAFTA, it would be nice to mention my friend who went to an institution and said, I wouldn't have got this if it wasn't for you. So
and I want to ask you, being from Soweto, and the knowledge you've acquired, the bravery you took, because I feel like sometimes ngibona ngathi masekasi sifuna ukuhlala ekasi. Asifuna ukuphuma.
Sure.
Because if uphuma, then it means you're not down.
Uzenza
ngcono, or ufuna ukubona abelungu.
Sure.
But how important is it for us to get out of our communities and go and integrate or blend or learn and take and see the world? How important is it ukuthi singabuhlala ekasi?
Sibe nama-strat mates.
But not just ekasi, but get out and go in and see what's out there beyond what you know.
So in 2019, I got an opportunity with a company called Corporate Icons, owned by Lala Tuku.
Lala.
Yes. She then she had an opportunity to document one of the biggest art festivals in Italy, in Venice. It's called the Art Biennale. So I was one of the crew members who was shooting, who was taking images of the South African pavilion.
Yeah.
And that trip, that 18 hours, getting there and looking,
it sounds like
it is 18 hours.
From above.
It is 18 hours, literally, right? So when we got to Marco Polo, the airport, and other artists start to arrive, and we all there for the same mission, which is to put up a good show, and we'll shoot it. I then realized that, you know what, I don't think people, if you don't travel, you think you can only think of so much. You know, like you can only think of what you know.
Broad,
You can only think of what you know. I used to think, look, if I can get great images and then go speak to Andrew Shabangu, after Andrew Shabangu, get this mentor. And then now, Italy, there's about almost 2 million people doing the same thing that I'm doing. So that sort of woke me up in the sense that, come on, don't think of South Africa now. Start thinking global. Do you want your work to be seen in a Vogue magazine? Because when you're in South Africa, you can only think of one. Good, I know if I shoot a drum magazine cover, you gotta
They come here,
sure,
and they take from us, and then they take it that side, and then they mix it with their own, and then they make it look like it's new,
and they own it. They own it. We need to. I think that's what we need to learn, is to own our work and own it.
And love it.
No apologies about it. And hence you need to create works that speaks to your soul, so that you never have to put on a show when you have to engage people about what you're doing.
So I want to ask you, because I can see, Uguti, people love you, hey? Like the comments that have been coming through. Please, can you say something to our people, Ekasi, Orlando, please, Ndlovu, White City, because people are so scared to come out, because saba ugenza ni sabu failure, and it's saba ukuthi masesitshela abadala ukuthi when we tell the elders that we are going to do this, and they go, it's okay. So please, you are from Soweto, you talk about it, that's where you thrive, that's where you're doing your thing.
Sure.
Please inspire the brothers and sisters out there, ukuthi go out there and do it, and don't listen to ukuthi when you're a traitor. No,
for sure. What I would say to my younger self, I think I like to view, when it comes to giving advice and being there for people or saying something about people's lives, I'd like to make a reference about myself. I'd say to,
it's a personal experience.
I'd say to an 18-year-old Mlu who just finished school, I hope there's more Mlus out there I hope there's more people who are gonna dare. I remember when I was in matric.
Please, whoa, you rule very quickly. People who are going to dare.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dare yourself.
Dare.
I'm a product of a lot of hands. My LO teacher in matric used to let me go and watch a film set during school hours while other kids are been getting lame marks on accounting and whatever. I'm out on set, and with my uniform. And I think if I get that spirit back, I think I've lost it as a 26-year-old. I don't think I'm as daring as I was when I was 18. I'd say Mlu, go back. I'd say Sizwe, go back. I'd say Palisa, go there. Go because if you don't reach that goal when you're 18, you're not going to reach it when you're 40 anyway. You would still have failed. So rather fail early so that you prepare yourself for the later stage. And look, I'm still trying to figure things out myself. I don't have it all figured out. I'm still chasing clients, retaining clients, losing clients. Of course. So it's an unpredictable sphere of living. So as unpredictable as it is, we should also be unpredictable towards life. If I fail today and they think Mlu is gone, come back, 18-year-old.
Come back.
Get a Pink Panther, baby.
Yeah.
It's been fabulous having you in studio.
I had fun.
Magical.
I think I talk a lot, but I had fun.
No, but that's
And we are here for you.
Thank you so much. This was comfortable. I was actually nervous, but
yeah, because we want to do that whole thing, read your bio.
Yeah, there's so much pressure. There's so much pressure.
I'd rather you talk, let the people know who you are personally, because I think it's better that way. You know, it's so much better that way than all the cliche questions about your career and all that. Because I think people need to know where the foundation lies.
Sure.
Sure. Where it's like, it's your family, whether they're supportive or not. That is foundation.
Yes.
And then also you and how you come from Ekasi, but had the audacity to dare. Also as a black man, the audacity to dare to be like, I'm going to do that.
And then we're looking.
Yeah. Yabonga, thank you, London East.
Okay, I'm against my friend.
Thank you so much.
Last words that you'd like to say, Mlu, in closing for that listener out there, who follows you, who loves you, who looks at your work, wants to be with you, wants to be you when they're not with you, sorry, wants to be you when they grow up.
English?
1 Studio 0.
I think I'd say follow your heart and the music that's beating in your heart. Dance to it.
Yes.
Dance to it unapologetically, because I think the worst thing that I'd want with my life and of the people that I love is to be living a life of regrets. We should. I always speak to my friends and say, you know what? When we're 40, guys, you see, right now we're all 26, 29. Yeah. We should say, hey, dude, we lost 100,000 together. We should try stuff.
Yes.
We should fail collectively so that we rise collectively again.
Yes, of course.
So yeah, I'd say
the history is strong
and rich. So
rich.
Like have really decent structures for our families and people that are coming behind us.
Yes.
So we have the time, and we need to burn that midnight oil and do the Lord's work, I think.
Pearls of wisdom.
Hey,
pearls of wisdom. When you hit 30, what's going to happen with you? Wow.
You have reminded me of the Palesa who grew up listening to Kwaito.
Sure.
The Palesa who grew up watching TV and being like, yo, like and be like, I want to be that girl. And
he took you back to the
he took me to that essence of who I am.
Sure.
I think growing up as a black child, wherever you are, there's this spirit that we possess within us that teaches us that you are who you say you are.
Sure.
No matter where you, when usugile waya eskoleni,
Yeah.
and then today you are still doing what you
Sure.
love, because the essence of of being black says do who you say you are.
Yeah.
So thank you for bringing that sense of community, that sense of that, reminding us that who you are and who you dare and who you say you are is that, not who the world says you are.
Sure, for sure. Thank you so much.
Siyabong.
Yeah. No.
And I wanna say, go get that child. You know that boy that's daring.
Yeah.
Sure.
Go get him back.
Sure.
Don't let him sleep.
Yeah.
With the actor. He must also be there with
Active.
you with the photography.
Sure.
So be active, carry on. And I love who you are as a person.
Thank
I
you.
really, really do. And thank you
so
for,
much
for being with us in the studio and sharing your life, you know.
Thank you.
And yes, let's see what happens for the rest of the year.
Yeah, exciting times.
Stunning.
Thank you.
And there we have it, everybody. Signing off from Noni and Balisa.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for
Peace
tuning
out.
in. The show goes on with Noni on your platform, your media, hashtag where you are. Season Nipana next weekend.
Thank you so much.
Your media, where you are.